Well, you know, today marks International No Diet Day, a time to challenge the negative messaging that we receive surrounding food and body image. Here to share how we can combat diet culture, we welcome back dietitian, author, and co-host of the podcast, The Body Trust, Dana Sturtevant. Good to see you again, Dana.
Thank you.
No Diet Day. Sounds like my kind of day.
It is.
So tell me what it's supposed to mean.
It's a day to bring attention to the harmful impacts of dieting and restricting our food. And I think one of the things I want to make sure people watching know is that dieting is a mentality, and we live in a culture that very much promotes this mentality.
Yeah.
And so when people, many people watching maybe don't think that they diet.
Right.
But when you're following external rules of right and wrong, good and bad,
you don't even know what you're doing half the time.
Yeah. And our bodies don't like restriction and deprivation. The minute we put foods on a no-eat list,
right,
we become more preoccupied with those foods.
Isn't that true?
Yes.
All of a sudden, yeah, this is the food I want to eat.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get it. And then like when you hear about fasting, when I've heard about fasting in the past, it seems like then you fast and then you're hungrier than ever after you're done with the fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's what I like to think of as a homeostatic nature to that eating. A lot of people would pathologize that eating and say, I went on this fast and then I couldn't control myself afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, when you've been deprived of food, your body behaves like it's been deprived of oxygen.
Right.
And if you were held underwater for a period of time and you came up to get air, you wouldn't like sip it through a straw slowly. No. You would be like,
yeah.
And so sometimes people feel frenzied when they go off of a restrictive eating plan or do some kind of fast.
Exactly.
Because their bodies are hungry.
They're hungry, exactly. You talk about focusing today, especially on activities you like to do. Not necessarily like you have to go to the gym and get on the treadmill for an hour.
Yes, a lot of people that are pursuing fitness under the guise of health, but really it's more about cosmetics and looking healthy.
Right.
And so what happens is a lot of times people do the activities they think they should do, or the ones that burn the most calories. I used to teach yoga and people would, oh, I love yoga, but I don't do it because it doesn't burn calories, enough calories or something. So in an anti-diet approach, we let go of thinking about movement as a form of making up for our food, and we focus on the joy and pleasure and movement. What do you enjoy doing?
Right.
Which is often, for my clients that I work with, thinking about the activities they did when they were younger. Before cosmetics came up, and it was more about getting rid of this, or how do I get rid of this? It's about how they felt doing it and the joy and pleasure of dancing, of you know, chasing their friends.
Yeah, I found that if I want to incorporate exercise, it has to be something I enjoy doing. Yeah. Because otherwise, I'm not going to do it. So
so we see people going out with these rigid plans, and I'm going to do this and this.
Yeah.
And they last 2 weeks in the gym, and then they go, some people have that yo-yo fitness where they're super active and they go 2 hours a day for weeks, and then they're like, I can't do this long term.
Then comes February. Usually start in January. Yeah, and then comes February. You say instead of judging, take this day to, don't judge today if eating behaviors are good or bad.
Yes, a lot of people think about, and diet culture really encourages us to think about, was my day of eating good or bad, right or wrong? We think about
as
how
you go
can
to bed
I make
at night
up for things.
Right.
And really, and this is something as a dietitian, we often tell parents, we don't look at one day of eating, because your body benefits from what you do over a consistent period of time. And if we nitpick our daily choices, we're not seeing the overall picture. And bodies tend to come back into balance. If you don't eat vegetables one day, if you really pay attention, you might find that you're craving some greens or salad or something later in the week because you haven't had any. And so we recommend that you look at a day of, or a week of eating, or even a month of eating, versus really judging it meal by meal, day by day.
Right. Yeah. You say too, like, let's say you're out at a restaurant ordering what you want versus what you think may be the right choice.
Yes, I like to recommend that people look at the menu and notice what's kind of calling them, what's standing out to them. Also thinking about, do you want something warm or cold? Do you
Right.
want something that you can eat with your hands, or do you want to eat it with utensils? Do you want something crunchy, chewy, savory, sweet? Like, thinking about all those things can help us determine what we want and what will be satisfying.
Yeah.
Because when we eat what we think we should eat, a lot of times people walk away from a meal still wanting food.
And then going home and eating what they really want.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Don't comment on changes in body size.
Yes, and in the age of Ozempic and GLP-1
Right.
medications, we're seeing people's body change a lot.
Right.
In some cultures, seeing bodies get smaller is a worry. It's
Yeah.
like, are you okay? Are you
Right.
sick? But in this culture, you look great. Have you lost weight? Which is it just implies that they didn't look great prior.
Right.
And so there are so many other things we could compliment people on, including like, that color looks so good on you.
Right.
Or I love your jacket, or you always make me smile when I see you. Like,
Oh,
compliments.
that's a great compliment right there, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in an age where mothers kind of mentioned your weight every other week. That's just kind of like, oh, well, those pants are a little tight right now, that kind of thing. Or, I don't think now that moms do that. They make a point not to do that.
I think there's more awareness of that. Certainly some families have lineages of body shaming.
Yeah.
And I personally had a protective effect at home, where my mom just didn't, she knew if she said something, she would impact me, but I don't. Hillary, my business partner, says I'm a unicorn, because that's not common.
Yeah, that's not common.
I
Yeah.
do think in today's culture, moms are more aware.
I love this one. It's don't yuck people's yum.
Yeah, we don't need to know your opinions of whether you like something or not. You can say no thanks. You can say, you don't have to have something someone else orders, but we don't need to hear that you don't eat pasta, or you don't like something. When you yuck someone's yum, you might be yucking their culture,
Right.
their family history. Food is flavored with meaning.
Yeah.
And people are allowed to eat what they like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had that experience where you're eating something you really look forward to. You looked at the special online before you went to the restaurant and said, yeah, that's what I'm going to have. And then someone said, yeah, I don't eat that. I think it was pasta. I don't eat pasta. And you could tell it was one of those, yeah. It was like, whoa, hey, I'm enjoying myself here.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this morality and this
Yeah, exactly.
kind of
There was a
pedestaling of
judgment.
people.
There was a judgment
like,
there.
I withhold from this.
Yeah, and so in line with that, don't apologize or make excuses for what you were ordering or what you're eating.
Yeah. When people comment on your food, it says more about them than it does you. It says that they're feeling. I think people who aren't eating pasta comment on pasta because they're feeling restricted.
They really want
and
that
they really
pasta.
want it.
Yeah.
But in the moment, they want to feel better about what they're doing. And so they kind of say something to kind of reinforce the restriction.
Right. Overall, the idea is just eat what you enjoy and leave with that, because you're satisfied.
Yes,
right?
yeah. A lot of people in the name of health feel like they have to give up pleasure. But when we center pleasure in movement and food, it's more sustainable for us long term. And when we can find foods that we like to eat, that support our health and our well-being,
Right.
we're much more likely to sustain it. And it doesn't mean like pulling off any kind of rigid, perfect plan.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And this especially, I think, impacts women, especially.
Yes.
Women get judged all the time on how they look.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have been big participators of diet
Right.
culture.
Yes.
With that.
And also one of the biggest critiques of other women's bodies.
Yes.
Critics of other women's
Yep.
bodies. Yeah.
And we know with social media and stuff, and women are finding out that dieting just leads to weight gain, ultimately, yo-yoing and cycling up the scale.
Sure.
That a lot of women are choosing not to diet, which means the industry, we know Weight Watchers just filed for bankruptcy.
Right.
And many of the weight loss industry are seeing men as an untapped market.
Interesting.
So we're seeing young boys, teenage boys.
Right.
But it's more about leanness. It's about having the six-pack abs, and it's about protein.
Okay, gotcha.
They're obsessed
Well,
with
I think we need to
protein.
focus on No Diet Day. We want to tell everyone again that your book is titled Diet Culture. We're here to, the podcast is called The Body Trust. Dana Sturtevant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to see you again. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.